My dear child of God, there are some wounds so deep that only heaven itself can touch them. There are betrayals that bruise the soul and crush the tender heart. And when a narcissist enters your life, dressed in charm, dripping with counterfeit love, you might think you've still met your blessing. But, oh no, child, you've still just met your lesson. You see, the narcissist comes not merely to harm, but to reveal. To reveal what you tolerate. To reveal what you've forgotten about your worth. To reveal how far you've drifted from the God who made you whole. And yet, hear me now, there comes a time, an appointed season, when God says enough. Enough deception, enough manipulation, enough lies told in the dark. That's when the Almighty begins His work of exposure. When God exposes, He does not need your help. He does not need your argument, your revenge, or your proof. He does not send you to fight. He sends truth to stand tall in its own light. For what man hides in darkness, God will display beneath the brightness of morning. My dear child, I want you to hear me with both your ears and your heart, because what I'm about to tell you is the very medicine that will heal your weary soul. When God exposes the one who hurt you, it is never born from hatred. It is not an act of vengeance, and it is never meant to make you small while He makes them pay. No, beloved, it is something far greater, far wiser, and far more loving than your human heart could ever design. It is justice, divine and perfect, written by the hand of the one who sees what no man can hide. There is a difference between revenge and justice. Revenge is the cry of pain still bleeding. Justice is the whisper of wisdom fully healed. Revenge seeks to strike, to wound, to make the other feel what you have felt. But justice, justice. She stands tall and graceful, wearing a robe of light. She does not shout. She does not rage. She simply arrives, quietly, powerfully, undeniably. When God brings justice, it does not destroy only the guilty, it restores the righteous. You see, my dear, when you have been wronged by a narcissist, you may feel that the heavens have closed their eyes. You may wonder, Lord, do you see what they did? Do you hear what they said? Do you know how much I've cried? And God in His patient voice replies, yes, my child, I see it all. I have recorded every tear, and I have written every moment of your pain in the book of remembrance. But I am not rushing, because what I am building is bigger than your bitterness, it is your blessing. When God chooses to expose the one who hurt you, He does it with such precision that even the proud must bow. He does not need lightning or thunder. Sometimes His exposure looks like a simple truth falling from someone's lips. Sometimes it looks like a secret revealed at the perfect moment. Sometimes it is not a scandal in public, but a still, small voice in private that convicts the heart. Because God's justice is not for entertainment, it is for enlightenment. Child, don't you know that God will never let wickedness go unanswered? But He also will not let you lose your soul while you wait for Him to act. He's teaching you the holy art of patience, the sacred lesson of letting go. While you are sitting in silence, thinking nothing is happening, heaven is preparing the stage for revelation. The same God who rolled away the stone from a sealed tomb will roll away the lies that were buried against you. The truth will rise just as surely as Christ did. And when that day comes, the exposure will not be ugly, it will be holy. It will not leave ashes, it will leave clarity. Because divine justice doesn't drag people into the mud, it lifts truth into the light. You will not have to shout, see, I was right. God Himself will speak through circumstances, through outcomes, through the gentle unfolding of truth. He will not humiliate to heal. He will simply let every false thing crumble under its own weight, until what remains is only truth and peace. Revenge comes from a heart still chained to the wound. Justice flows from a heart that has learned to trust the timing of heaven. So when you are tempted to take matters into your own hands, remember this. You serve a God who sits high but looks low, who does not sleep, who does not forget, and who does not fail. He is not late, He is deliberate. And when He moves so perfectly that even your enemies will say, surely the Lord is with them. Now I know it hurts. I know the nights are long and the silence feels cruel, but baby, you are not being punished. You are being positioned. God cannot fight your battles while you hold the sword. You must release your need to avenge yourself so that His justice can have room to breathe. The same hands that shaped galaxies are shaping your redemption. The same voice that calmed the storm is calming the chaos in your spirit. The same heart that sent His Son for the undeserving is writing your victory story even now. So lift your eyes, my dear. Do not look at what they are doing, look at what God is doing through it. The narcissist lies are only a shadow, and shadows cannot exist without light. That light is coming. It is steady, it is sure, and it is pure. When God shines His truth, no rumor can survive it, no deception can thrive in it, and no arrogance can hide beneath it. Exposure from God is not destruction, it is revelation, it is the unveiling of what always was, the showing forth of what could not remain hidden. And when that light reaches the one who wounded you, don't gloat, don't smile at their downfall, just whisper, "Thank you, Lord," and keep walking. Because the exposure is not your entertainment, it is your exodus. It's the moment when you are finally free, not because they were punished, but because you no longer need to see them punished to feel at peace. That, my child, is divine justice. You see, God's justice does not humiliate, it heals. It does not roar, it restores. And in His justice there is always mercy. Sometimes He exposes to redeem the one who harmed you too, because even the narcissist is still His creation, lost in their own mirror of pride. But that's not your burden to carry. Your only duty is to stay in light, stay in love, stay in truth, and let God be God. So stand tall, beloved. Let go of your need to prove, to argue, to expose. God is already writing the testimony. One day the truth will rise like the morning sun, and all who once doubted you will see what God saw all along. And when that moment comes, you will realize that His justice wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about proving you whole. Because when God exposes, He doesn't just show what they did, He shows who you've become in spite of it all. My dear one, hear me when I say this. Nothing that is built on lies can stand forever. No mask, no illusion, no performance of goodness can hold against the steady gaze of God. The narcissist may cloak themselves in the garments of charm, may wear the perfume of false kindness, may smile with the grace of angels, but child, beneath that glitter lies rot, and time, guided by the hand of the Almighty, will always uncover it. There is a kind of deception that shines bright at first. It dazzles. It seduces the heart. It whispers, "You have found love, you have found safety." But what you have truly found is a mirror maze of manipulation. And when you walk those winding paths, you lose sight of yourself, until one day you no longer recognize the face in the reflection. That is what the narcissist does, my dear. They sell you a dream that was never real. But thank God the author of truth is not mocked. The one who breathed life into you will not allow his masterpiece to live forever beneath another's shadow. The narcissist may build their empire on illusion, but the foundation is sand, and the tides of truth are patient. They wait. They move slow, but they move certain. The narcissist thinks the silence of heaven means consent, but no, it means mercy. God gives them time to repent, time to turn, time to face their reflection. But when they do not, the season changes. The mercy shifts into movement. The same stillness they mistook for permission becomes the wind that blows their disguise away. You see, my child, deception is exhausting. To maintain a lie, one must live in constant fear of truth. Every deceit demands another deceit. Every manipulation demands a cover. Every false story needs an audience. And one by one, those threads of illusion begin to unravel, not because you pulled them, but because the hand of time did. And time is God's most faithful servant. Time reveals what words conceal. The narcissist may think they are clever. They may think they fooled everyone. They may sit proudly in their circle of admirers, laughing at your tears, gloating over your confusion. But let me tell you something eternal. When you are God's child, no weapon formed against your spirit will prosper, not even a lie. Because lies, no matter how beautiful, cannot live in the same room as light. And light, my dear, always finds a crack to enter through. Oh, they may whisper about you in corners. They may twist your truth until others cannot see you clearly. They may make you question your sanity, your worth, your memory. But the day will come, believe me, it will come, when their own words will contradict themselves, when their own stories will crumble under the weight of their own falsehood. Because deception is not sustainable. It eats itself alive. You don't have to expose them, baby. They are already standing on the edge of their own undoing. And you, dear heart, must not let bitterness take root in your soil. You must not waste your breath trying to make others see what they are not ready to see. You must trust that the same God who opened blind eyes and parted seas will open truth in due time. You must keep your spirit clean, your prayers strong, your boundaries firm, and your faith anchored in light. The truth has a rhythm, and God is the conductor. Now, I know how it feels to be doubted, to tell your truth and be met with silence or disbelief, to watch the one who harmed you walk freely, admired and applauded, while you sit in the ashes of confusion. But do not despair, my child. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. You are being taught the sacred difference between being seen and being known. The world saw their performance. God knows your heart, and in His time He will make known what was hidden. Remember, truth does not need to scream, it only needs to stand. Lies are loud because they are fragile. Truth is silent because it is eternal. The narcissist will one day grow weary of the performance. The applause will fade. The admirers will begin to see the cracks, because no man or woman can sustain a lie without losing themselves in it. Eventually, the mask becomes too heavy to hold. Eventually, the spotlight turns and reveals not glory but guilt. And when that day comes, child, you won't need to say, "I told you so." You will simply stand calm and radiant, a living testimony of grace. For the same people who once believed the lie will witness your peace and know that God has vindicated you. The truth will walk into the room without an announcement. It will not knock. It will simply arrive, and when it does, every false word will fall like ash to the ground. Do not rush it. Do not chase it. Do not try to pry the mask off another's face. That is not your assignment. Your task is to keep your own soul pure, to let God handle what only He can handle. You are not the revealer of truth. You are the recipient of it. Let Him do the exposing, for when He does, it is complete. His revelation leaves no residue, no revenge, only clarity. I have lived long enough to know, child, that lies have short legs. They run fast, but they cannot travel far. Truth walks slow, but it always reaches home. And when it arrives, it stays. So don't fret when it looks like the narcissist is winning. Don't tremble when their lies seem to thrive. They are only sowing the seeds of their own downfall. Every falsehood is a debt they owe to truth, and God collects every debt in full. So hold your head high. Walk with quiet confidence. Speak your truth when God prompts you to, and stay silent when He tells you to rest. You do not need to defend what is already divine. The truth is on your side, and the truth never sleeps. One day it will stand beside you like sunlight through a window, illuminating all that was hidden, vindicating all that was doubted. And when that light shines, you will not need to lift your voice. You will simply smile. For you will know that what was meant to destroy you only revealed the hand of God upon your life. The narcissist's deception cannot hide forever, because there is no corner dark enough, no story clever enough, no lie powerful enough to escape the eyes of eternity. God is truth, and truth will have the last word, always. My beloved child, there comes a season in every soul's journey when pain becomes the only teacher that will stay. You will cry out to heaven and ask, "Why, Lord? Why must I hurt so deeply? Why must I lose so much? Why must I walk through this valley alone?" And the whisper that returns is soft but certain, "Because I am preparing you for pain, my dear, is never wasted in the hands of God. It is the sacred classroom of purpose." When you have been wounded by a narcissist, your heart does not just ache, it fractures. It bends under the weight of confusion. You gave your love freely, but they saw it as fuel for their ego. You spoke truth, but they twisted your words into weapons. You tried to help them heal, but they fed on your kindness until your spirit felt hollow. And in that hollowness, in that deep silence of betrayal, you meet yourself for the first time. Pain introduces you to the parts of you that peace never had to meet. You see, child, when everything is comfortable, you don't look for strength, you simply live. But when the storms come, when the waves rise and the light disappears, that's when you find the divine within you. That's when you remember that you were made from more than flesh, you were shaped by the breath of God Himself. Pain doesn't come to break you, it comes to introduce you to your depth. The narcissist may have thought they were destroying you. They thought your tears were signs of defeat, your silence a mark of surrender. But what they didn't know is that every tear you shed was watering the seed of your becoming. They didn't know that in trying to diminish you, they were pressing you into purpose. For the olive must be crushed to release oil, the grape must be pressed to produce wine, and the heart must be broken before it can overflow with compassion. There is something holy about surviving betrayal. It strips away the unnecessary. It peels back every false layer until only truth remains. You begin to see the world differently. You begin to see yourself differently. And if you let God into that pain, you begin to see Him differently too. The very thing that hurt you becomes the altar where you lay your brokenness down. And from that altar beauty rises. Don't you know, my child, that some blessings are born out of bruises? Some wisdom is forged in the fire of sorrow. You could not be who you are meant to be without the breaking that shaped you. The same pain that made you question your worth is the soil from which your purpose will grow. It's not punishment, it's preparation. It's not cruelty, it's construction. You are being built, layer by layer, into someone who cannot be shaken by what once destroyed you. And let me tell you this truth. God does not waste suffering. He does not sit idly by while you weep. No, He collects your tears like pearls and stores them in His hands. He is not indifferent to your agony. He is investing through it. Every sleepless night, every anxious prayer, every moment you thought you wouldn't survive, it's all being woven into your calling. When you rise from the ashes, you won't just rise healed, you'll rise whole. Pain, my dear, refines you. It teaches you discernment. It teaches you to see beyond smiles and charm. It teaches you to recognize energy rather than words. The narcissist may have fooled you once, but pain makes you wise. You learn not to beg for love that must be borrowed. You learn not to apologize for outgrowing the cage someone built for your spirit. You learn to stand, not with bitterness but with boundaries and grace. And when you stand, when you finally lift your head from the dust, something miraculous happens. You begin to see the fingerprints of God on every shattered piece. You realize that the very heartbreak that tried to kill you was actually the hand that guided you back to yourself. You understand that if the narcissist had not betrayed you, you might still be living small, still searching for validation, still mistaking attention for affection. Sometimes pain removes what is false so that truth can breathe. And oh, child, what a truth it is. The truth that you were never meant to beg for love. The truth that your voice carries weight. The truth that your heart, though wounded, still beats with divine rhythm. The truth that God has been shaping your story not for pity but for purpose. You are not the victim of a narcissist, you are the vessel of transformation. Your scars are not signs of weakness, they are testimonies of survival. You see, God uses the very pain the enemy meant to destroy you to propel you into destiny. The betrayal becomes your breakthrough. The heartbreak becomes your harvest. The abandonment becomes your awakening. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every loss becomes leverage. You begin to speak from experience, not theory. You begin to help others who are still trapped where you once were. You become a light for those still stumbling through the dark halls of deception. And that, my dear, is purpose born from pain. When the narcissist sees you standing strong, they won't understand it. They will wonder how the one they tried to break became unbreakable. But you'll know. You'll know it wasn't you who did it, it was God in you. He took what was meant for evil and rewrote it for your good. He turned the weapon into a witness, the sorrow into a song. That's how divine love works. It turns crucifixion into resurrection. So don't curse your pain, child. Don't despise your journey. Let the tears fall, yes, but let them fall with faith. For the God who allowed the pain is the same God who will bring purpose out of it. You are being molded into something mighty, something wise, something holy. You are being prepared to walk in the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Remember, the storm that tried to drown you will one day become the testimony that saves someone else. The fire that burned you will become the warmth you offer another soul. The heartbreak that broke you open will become the place where love, real love, flows through. This is how God works. This is how pain becomes purpose. This is how you, my dear, rise from ruin into revelation. So stand tall, dry your tears, look toward heaven and say, "Thank you, Lord, for trusting me with this pain, because I now see it was never meant to destroy me. It was meant to prepare me." And in that moment you will understand every scar is sacred, every wound is wisdom. Every ache is an echo of purpose being born within you. And that, beloved, is the miracle of your becoming. My beloved child, there is a power that lives deeper than pain, stronger than revenge, and more liberating than justice itself. That power is forgiveness. It does not arrive with noise or fanfare. It does not demand applause. It enters softly like a sunrise after a long night and whispers to your soul, "You are free." Forgiveness, my dear, is not weakness. It is the mightiest form of strength. It is the refusal to let bitterness build a home in your heart. It is choosing peace over pride, healing over hatred, release over retaliation. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was right. It is saying, "I will no longer let what they did have power over me." It is looking at the wound and declaring, "You will not define me, you will refine me." When a narcissist has wounded you, their cruelty does not end when they walk away. It echoes in your mind, it lingers in your body, it haunts your peace. They controlled you with lies, they fed on your kindness. They built their joy on your suffering. And when it's over, you are left holding the weight of their sins while they walk away untouched. That is the cruelest part of all, that they seem free while you are bound. But hear me, child of God, true freedom does not come from seeing them punished. It comes from releasing them and reclaiming your soul. Forgiveness is not a gift to the one who hurt you, it is a gift to yourself. It is you standing in front of your pain and saying, "You no longer own me." It is you taking the key that has always been in your own hand and unlocking the chains around your spirit. Because resentment is a prison, and every day you hold on to anger, you serve a sentence that was never yours to serve. You might say, "But Dr. Maya, how can I forgive someone who never apologized? How can I forgive someone who never admitted they're wrong?" And I will tell you this: forgiveness does not wait for their repentance. Forgiveness is between you and God, not you and them. You do not forgive because they deserve mercy. You forgive because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Oh no, child, don't confuse the two. Forgetting is what fools do when they wish to erase the lesson. Forgiveness is what the wise do when they choose to live above the pain. You will remember, but the memory will no longer sting. You will recall, but it will no longer control. It's like touching a scar. It's still there, but it doesn't bleed anymore. There will come a day when you will see the narcissists for what they truly are, lost souls trapped in the prisons of their own emptiness. You will no longer look upon them with anger, but with understanding. You will see that their cruelty was not born from power, but from fear. Their arrogance was not strength, but a shield against their own shame. And when you see that, forgiveness becomes easier because you recognize that hurt people. And you, my dear, were simply caught in their storm. But you are not their victim anymore. You are God's child, and He calls you to rise higher than vengeance. He calls you to peace. He calls you to let go. Because forgiveness doesn't mean you return to the fire. It means you walk out of it without carrying the smoke. It means you set yourself free from replaying the story. You stop rehearsing what they did. You stop explaining your pain to those who will never understand. You stop asking for closure from people who were never open. Child, Forgiveness is not for the faint of heart. It is for the warriors of spirit. It takes courage to say, "You hurt me, but I will not become you." It takes strength to let go when your flesh wants to fight. But oh, when you do, when you finally release the anger that is wrapped around your soul, you will feel lighter than you have in years. You will walk differently, you will breathe differently, you will smile, not because you forgot the pain, but because you survived it. Forgiveness is a sacred exchange. You hand your pain to God and He hands you peace. You let go of the offense and He fills you with strength. You stop demanding justice in your timing and He brings justice in His. That's why the scripture says, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." Not because He wants to deny you fairness, but because He knows revenge will poison your healing. You cannot drink bitterness and expect your soul to flourish. The narcissist will one day face the truth of what they have done. That's between them and God. But you, child, must face the truth of what you've become. You are no longer broken. You are no longer bound. You are a testimony of grace. And that grace shines brightest when you forgive, not because they earned it, but because you refuse to be defined by their darkness. I know it's hard. I know your heart trembles at the thought of letting go. But look around you. The trees still grow after the storm. The sun still rises after the night. The river still flows after the drought. Nature itself teaches us that letting go is how life begins again. And so it is with your spirit. When you forgive, you do not lose power. You gain it. You step back into the divine authority of your peace. You take back control from the one who once manipulated you. You say, "You no longer decide how I feel, how I think, how I live." That, my dear, is what freedom sounds like. Forgiveness doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes it is a slow release, a daily decision. You wake up each morning and say, "I will not carry this hurt today." And one day, without realizing it, you will wake up and the burden will be gone. You will think of them and feel nothing but calm. That is the miracle of God's love. He heals what hatred could not. So forgive, my child, not because it excuses the harm, but because it sets you free from it. Forgive because your destiny cannot be fulfilled while you are chained to your history. Forgive because peace is too precious to sacrifice on the altar of pain. Forgive because you are called to be greater than what was done to you. And when you do, when your heart finally exhales, you will understand forgiveness is not about the past, it's about your future. It is not a weakness, it is a resurrection. It is the quiet, holy moment when you reclaim your wings and remember that you were never meant to crawl through the ruins, you were born to rise above them. Forgiveness, my dear, is freedom. And once you taste that freedom, you will never again let anyone's darkness dim your divine light. You will walk tall, love deeply, and live fully, proof that nothing, not even betrayal, can steal the soul that God Himself has set free. My dear child, there comes a sacred moment in every story of suffering when God turns the page. You have cried long enough, prayed hard enough, endured silently while the world misunderstood your pain. But then in His divine timing, God says now, and when He says now, everything that was hidden is revealed, and everything that was broken begins to rise. That is what I call revelation. And revelation, beloved, is not only about exposing the one who hurt you, it's about elevating the one who endured. You see, when the narcissist wounded you, they thought they'd buried you. They thought they had silenced your light beneath their lies, their charm, their cruelty. But what they did not know was that you were a seed. And when a seed is buried, it does not die. It grows. In the darkness of your heartbreak, God was working, whispering, molding, preparing. You thought you were being destroyed, but you were being developed. You thought the silence was your punishment, but it was your protection. Because before God reveals His chosen, He refines them. There is a beauty in divine exposure that human eyes can barely understand. God does not reveal truth to embarrass, He reveals to exalt. He lifts you out of the shadows not to show off your pain, but to show forth His glory. And when He does, people who once pitied you will marvel. They will say, "How did she rise from that? How did he survive what broke others?" And your only answer will be, "God did it." Child, God's revelation is not a spotlight, it's a sunrise. It does not blind, it illuminates. It shines on you slowly, gently, until everyone sees what heaven has known all along. That you were never a victim, you were a vessel, you were never forgotten, you were being fashioned. The time in hiding was not wasted time, it was sacred incubation. You were being built in the dark so that when the light came you would not crumble under its weight. The narcissist's exposure and your elevation happen in the same breath, but the purpose is not revenge, it is revelation. God reveals to redeem. He shows truth not so others can gossip, but so hearts can grow. He wants the world to see the strength that comes from suffering, the grace that comes from grief, the wisdom that comes from walking through the fire and still choosing love. I want you to understand something deep, my dear. You are not the same person who walked into that pain. You have evolved. You have learned to listen to your intuition, to trust the quiet voice inside that says, "This is not love." You have learned to set boundaries, not from bitterness, but from wisdom. You have learned to see people as they are, not as you hoped they could be. And all of that hard-earned wisdom is your elevation. It is the crown you wear for surviving. When God reveals you, He does it with elegance. He doesn't announce it with noise. He lets your peace speak. He lets your glow testify. You will not need to prove what happened, because your healing will be proof enough. The very people who doubted you will feel the conviction of truth without you saying a word. That is how divine justice moves, quietly, completely, unmistakably. Oh, the narcissist may still try to hide, may still pretend, may still act as though nothing ever happened. But truth has a way of speaking even when mouths stay closed. Truth shows up in the fruit of one's life. It shows up in peace, in favor, in the joy that follows you like a shadow of grace. And when others see that joy in you, they will know you are walking with God. They will know that no human hand could have lifted you this high. No earthly apology could have healed you this deep. Only heaven could do that. So don't be surprised when people begin to see you differently. Some will wonder how you glow after all you've endured. Some will want to know the secret of your survival. Tell them the truth. I did not survive by strength alone. God carried me. Because, my child, you are not standing where you are by accident. You are standing on divine ground, the place where pain met purpose, and suffering became strength. God's revelation is not just about showing who the narcissist truly was, it's about showing who you truly are. You are the evidence that grace works. You are the living proof that love outlasts cruelty. You are the reflection of resilience that comes only from walking with God through the valley and coming out shining. Your story is not about the betrayal, it's about the breakthrough. Not about the fall, it's about the rising. And when you rise, you do not rise small. You rise with wisdom, you rise with empathy, you rise with a voice that trembles less, and a heart that beats stronger. You rise not to shame anyone, but to show that darkness does not have the final say. God does. You become a lighthouse for those still trapped in storms of manipulation. A living message that says, you too can survive, you too can rise. The most beautiful thing about divine revelation is that it restores dignity. What the narcissist tried to strip from you, your confidence, your faith, your joy, God returns, pressed down and running over. He does not just restore what was lost, He multiplies it. He turns your humiliation into honor, your tears into testimony, your loneliness into leadership, because He knows that the best way to silence a lie is to elevate the truth. So, my dear, when you see the light shining on your life again, do not shrink from it. Do not question whether you deserve it. You have been through your wilderness. Now it is time for your promised land. You have walked through the valley of shadows. Now it is time for your sunrise. Let your elevation be your praise. Let your peace be your revenge. Let your joy be your answer to every cruelty that once tried to crush you. You will know the revelation has come when you can look at your past without trembling. When you can remember the pain without reliving it. When you can speak the truth without bitterness. That is the moment when you are no longer just surviving, you are reigning. You have stepped into the purpose that pain prepared you for. You have become the living evidence that God's justice does not just punish, it restores. Child, hold your head high. You are not just healed, you are revealed. You are the proof that God brings beauty from ashes, light from darkness, purpose from pain. You are the evidence of divine revelation, that those who walk through the fire with faith do not come out burned. They come out shining, and when the world sees that glow, they will know, as I know, as heaven knows, God did it.